do that on both sides. That time of year, unfortunately, time to winterize the boat. We got to fog and drain the 4.3 liter Merc and put oil in the Alpha 1 Gen 2 Outdrive. Got the water running right now on the earmuffs. Got her started, put the stable in the gas, fuel tank filled up, running some of the stabilizer into the carburetor, and then I'm going to take the flash arrestor off the top there and spray some storage sealant into the carburetor. And I'll stall out the motor and fog the cylinders. She's idling nicely. Didn't run her this much this year. It was kind of a crappy summer, so only got out a couple times, but gotta really watch out for moving parts and clothing. You don't want to get it caught. Little warning on here, delicate, don't step, because you can snap this bolt real easy. Someone snapped it before. Got to get it fixed. Now the next step is to drain all the lines and the 2 drains on one on each side of the block. And then the Outdrive will get new oil. Make sure there's no water in there. You can change the oil on the engine now or spring. I'm not going to change it because I only had 2 drives on it this year, and it should be still good. So we'll deal with it next spring. Okay, I'm using minus 50. It's so basically a plumber's antifreeze, so it doesn't totally pollute the environment. It's good to minus 50, like I said. We get pretty damn cold up here during the winter. Okay, so you got the exhaust port drains. You got the block drain. I don't know if you can see it under there somewhere. It's there. One on each side. So those have to go. All the lower hoses have to come off. And some even have a hose way back there that if you forget, you're in trouble. But I don't know if I can see back there, but just make sure you get every low point of the hoses and where the, I guess it's the thermostat is, wherever it is, down there somewhere. You gotta get that. So just make sure you get all the hoses drained out. Some people have a special order, they do, but I just pull them all off until everything drains. And then I'll do up the bottoms and start filling with antifreeze. Some people just put a little bit of antifreeze in. I fill everything up. I've never had any issues with that, nor bad luck, but that's the way I do it. I'm not a professional, and this is just what I've learned, and it's worked. So, and now I got a flashlight, you might be able to see. There's the thermostat. You gotta take those hoses off right there. For the focus, focusing on the hose there. Gotta do that one. These are kind of hard to get at, as you can tell. This is the the block drain. Do that on both sides. Oh yeah. That'll drain the exhaust elbow. Not too bad. So like I said, everybody does differently. Some people leave the hoses off. I find it easier just to fill everything up, leave the hoses on, and then it's ready to go in the spring. If the hoses don't want to come off, then you might have to use a flat screwdriver to pry on them a little bit, but be careful just to break the seal. Sometimes you get a little rust seal around. And then you dump the water on yourself. I'm going to go around and take them all off. I'm not going to put them back on because I'll probably forget which ones are which. Not too many hoses to disconnect. This one, you don't have to drain it because you're draining it with this hose here underneath. And also if you're taking that plug out in the elbows, same thing on this side. Down here, bottom of the elbow hose. And then the thermostat hose down there, disconnected, which is this one right here, this one here, there's this one here. So I've taken 1, 2, 3, 4 hoses off. Drained both sides of the block. The elbows are drained. I know it's hard to see in here, but so that pretty much covers it. So once you know you got it all drained, then we'll be putting the bottom of the hoses back on, taking the tops off, and we'll be filling everything up from the top with antifreeze until it comes out the block, and then put the screws back in the block or the bolts back. Same thing with the elbows. When it starts pouring out there, put the hose back on. So then you know everything's filled right to the top and there's no water in there at all. And I believe, if I remember correctly, you fill up this hose for the thermostat hose and this one for the front water pump. The antifreeze should start coming out of the block holes, and then once it's running good you can plug those up. And the thermostat one runs back to the rear. Just trying to cover all my bases. Never remember every year. I only do this once a year, so. Okay, I'm gonna start filling up this one. Goes down into the water pump there. And it should fill up the block on that side, and it should come out the block hole. I don't know if you can see, hopefully you can. It's coming out. I can hear it. So I'm gonna put the plug back in there Okay, I totally filled this one up until it was full. Now the engine block is full. This one, when you fill it to a point to where it starts coming out the lower end, then you know it's good there. And then we'll be attaching the hoses to the elbows, to the exhaust elbows back, and we'll fill all that up and it'll be done. Okay, full. Alright, that's all the hoses, everything filled, the block. It's not completely filled to the top, it'll be air spaces, so if anything did freeze, it would have a little bit of room to move, but it's not going to freeze. So then I dump a little bit into the bilge, so that doesn't freeze if any water gets in there. And then the drains, yep. Those are the deck drains. They just run down here and run out the side. And then the water, plumber antifreeze for sure in here. I already got a little bit in there. Run the pump, water pump, into the sink, into the drain. And that's good, and then I remove all the batteries. Alright, I drain the lower end. There's a slot screw right in the nose there. Just be careful you don't strip it. Little magnet here. I don't see any signs of any kind of filings in there, so that's a good sign. And obviously, since I only rode a couple times this year, it's not showing any signs of being dirty either, so any water would come out first. And then up top, there's the vent. You open that and then the bottom will drain better. Okay, when it's finished draining, we'll get the plastic connector. You don't want to cross thread it. Don't over crank it. Pumping Mercury Outdrive oil. I just dump the oil into this because I got the big pump, so it's much easier. We're going to be pumping that in. There we go. Until it comes out the top. Oh, there we go. Put the cap or the screw back in. Slide that up. Wipe off the oil. We'll screw the bottom back out and have the cap ready. Screw that back in. And then that's the oil on the lower end. No water in there, fresh oil for next year. Now is a good time to grease all the grease nipples around. Check the anodes. It's still good. This is the Gen 2, so it doesn't have the little fin, it's just flat. A couple up there. One there. Well, they all look good. Okay, because where I parked this, I can't put the lower end all the way down. So what I do is I fill up here with antifreeze until it comes out. Put a bag over this and a hole in the bottom of the bag in case any water gets in, it can drain out, but that'll keep the lower end from freezing if there's any water in there. Leave the bottom open so that anything gets in here can drain out. So, but that's all full antifreeze, so good to go. Okay, batteries are out. Engine's winterized, lower end's winterized. Water system is done, the drains are done. Gas is done. All I gotta do is take the top off and put the winter tarp on, but I gotta get the winter tarp fixed first, so hopefully we don't get any snow yet. So, all good to go. Alright, so I hope you enjoyed the video and it was somewhat helpful. That's the way I do it. I'm sure there's many more ways, so seems to work for me. Thanks for watching.